Dr. Ona Ekhomu joins us now. He's a security consultant to look at some of these matters. But of course, yesterday, the Borno State governor did return to the presidential villa to brief the president on the latest of the attacks in Bama local government, where in some of today's papers you see how they say scores killed in fresh attacks in Borno, and gunmen in 56 vehicles destroy houses, others. And one of the riders to that lead headline in some of the pages we reviewed this morning. I mean, looking at this headline, and then the governor's return to brief the president less than 48, is it 24 hours after the first visit, and now you see 56 vehicles. You just can ask yourself, what's going on with this?
It's a large convoy. And, well, good morning to all of you, first of all. And but it's very unfortunate what is happening there. The persistence of the attacks, the severity or the criticality of the losses, that is the number, the death toll. This month alone, Borno State has recorded about 300 deaths in the hands of BH insurgents. And that's really a high toll. And the Bama attack, 47 dead. That's why the governor flew to Abuja to brief Mr. President. So I think the situation at hand, the security situation at hand is quite dire, and something really urgently needs to be done, to contain it.
One wonders the way we are approaching this. I mean, we've had lots of people come here telling us how we need the political will to actually go in, because the impression that some people will get, perhaps after that first recent visit of the governor, that they're better armed and motivated, may just be misconstrued by a lot of people. But the way the military is approaching this, I mean, an ex-captain did say, look, this is a piece of cake for the army. But the way we're approaching it, it's making some of those in the front lines lose a lot of maybe psychological advantage on this.
Yeah. Well, I think the statement by the governor earlier this week, and then a statement also by Governor Babangida Aliyu, chairman of Northern Governors Forum, kind of indicated a better understanding of what the problem is, the problem of Boko Haram terrorism. Now, it had been misconstrued, it had been called all kinds of things. It's a question of poverty, it's a question of people who are not happy, it's a question of religion. It's none of those. It's really none of those. This is part of an international terror network. That's what we are dealing with here. And so we still don't have a good understanding of what is on ground. And until we understand that, we won't know what is driving it, the dynamics. And these are people who are battle-hardened. Of course, you see that whole northeast axis. They can run across national borders. Cameroon, in particular, is not helping the effort. So it makes it so easy for them to fall back when you attack and then launch again. Now, there are so many things. I'm going to wait till you ask about the solution side. But, I'm saying these are some of the things driving it. First, we don't have a good understanding of what the problem is. Second, our political leadership, particularly from the northern part, they've been making political capital of it. But now I'm happy that the realization is there now. I mean, General Gowon just came out recently and said, look, we have to be serious in taking action against this insurgency. The United Nations just came out 2 days ago and said, look, Nigeria, there are too many deaths occurring from Boko Haram. You got to do something about it. So what I'm saying is, it's gotten to a point where it's glaring now. Everyone is seeing it that, what, this is not really one of those political breakback things. And this is a serious, grave security threat.
That question of understanding of the situation,
yes, sir.
How do we come to terms with it? How do we grasp that understanding?
Well, the point is you have to get intellection, to get understanding. You have to study. You have to go in there. It's not about taking posturing. It's about gaining deep insights of what is going on. How did this group start? First of all, what is its ideology? What turned it from a fairly peaceful, service-oriented group into a violent group and all that. You know, those kinds of things. Those are the things we are saying. Then what is feeding it? And how is it getting its funding? How is it getting its material, its armaments, and so on and so forth? Those are the kinds of things, you know, you have to go into that. And then, look, let me tell you one thing about understanding. Recently, I issued a press release saying that we needed force multipliers to enable the military combat Boko Haram effectively. And one of the things I said there was, look, get a simple criminal analysis software and we can predict their next point of attack. If we can predict their next point of attack, then we can better marshal resources toward there, because it's not possible to have, like somebody said recently on TV, it's not possible to have troops everywhere, you know, defending every little settlement or village or town. But then you can, if you can predict where they're going to strike, then of course you can concentrate resources in that area.
In addition to that, I mean, while the captain was here yesterday, he also did say, look, this is not exactly beyond the military. This is the same military that was in Darfur, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone. They faced this kind of scenario before. So why does this one look larger than life?
Well, those were different conflicts. In Darfur, Liberia, you had battle lines. This one, you have a guerrilla situation.
Well, it was the same type in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
You had better battle lines defined there. And now here, we have a problem of posse comitatus, use of military in policing your own population. For example, that's why we are conflicted. We say there's a state of emergency, but we're really not sure how it's playing out on ground. Because you have the political executives still making pronouncements, taking action, going around. You have the military commanders trying to run their operations. So there is a little bit of confusion here and there. But I mean, that's okay, because it is the wisdom of the political elite. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, it is all about service delivery. What those people in the Northeast axis and everywhere in Nigeria, because this problem is not, is really not just in the Northeast, it's everywhere, but all the way down to Lagos.
Is the wisdom of the political elite impeding our attempt to tackle this menace once and for all?
Then we go back again to intellection, understanding the problem, because you must have an organic knowledge of the problem. You must have a good understanding of the problem in order to invent strategies to tackle it. Because if you don't, then you will think that, oh, it's one of those things, when we paper over it, it will go away. But it's not going to go away, not anytime soon. Countries that have been fighting, like the United States and Pakistan, all the stands that have been fighting, even Russia, you know, you see that it's something that's there. It's an enemy. It's within the population, and you just have to deal with it. And you just have to stay there and deal with it. But you must have the resolve to deal with it. And I think now that again, it's important to emphasize that Governor Shettima's comments and those by the NGF chairman, they are very important, because it means that there's a new realization now that, look, this is, in fact, like Shettima said it very bluntly, we are in a state of war. This is really a serious business. It's not a joke.